Hello and welcome to This Week in Sports. Hey now, he's my co-host and an all-star. It's Zach.
Howdy, howdy.
And hey now, I'm a rock star and your co-host. I'm Nick. And it was an all-star week, if you couldn't tell by my little intro bit there.
It was actually. That's good on the MLB and NBA for taking an all-star week at the same time.
The summer sports had to squeeze it in here in July before everyone's zoned out for summer vacation.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's kind of the highlight of the sports week. Not a whole lot of hockey news. Basketball, again, the W was All-Star Week. Still had a few games, I think, that we didn't cover in last week.
We did squeeze in a couple games for the All-Star break. They only get an All-Star weekend, so they have Thursday through today, which is Sunday, the day we're recording.
Yeah.
They're back to work tomorrow, I do believe.
And then Summer League's about to finish up with the NBA. So yeah, a little bit of everything. We have that Club World Cup to find out how that wrapped up.
Yeah, what an exciting endeavor.
Yep, no spoilers in my reaction to that. And I've got a double dose of lacrosse news for us. But let's hop in. Let's just jump right into the one we watched. Was that last night, the All-Star game for the W?
It was. We did play the WNBA All-Star game. They did the draft selection last week. They traded coaches because for some reason they gave the Lynx coach to Caitlin Clark and the Liberty coach to Collier, who plays for that. And they're like, don't know if it's allowed, but we're trading. You can have your coach. I'll take whoever.
Yeah, funny setup there. A little bit of a bummer for the league in terms of no Caitlin Clark playing in the game.
Yeah, she did get hurt. She pulled her groin earlier in the week. I do believe she pulled it Wednesday, like right before, is kind of early on in the game that the Fever were taking part of. She was clearly upset. Of course, the All-Star Weekend was happening in Indianapolis, which is kind of
it was all kind of set up to be a nice little showcase for her to be the host and whatnot.
Yeah, and unfortunately, she did not get to participate, but she did get to take part in some of the pictures, and she still participated like as much as she physically was allowed to. But yeah, it was there was a cool
sideline position.
Yeah, there was a cool media moment where they had Sabrina sitting down, and she was like, well, this is weird, like this isn't really my team. So she and Caitlin Clark switched, and they gave Caitlin Clark, who's the captain of the team, the ball, and they took a picture, which I thought was super cool of Sabrina to do as well. So
yeah, I mean, all in all, it looked like a lot of fun, especially for the vets who really made a point in several interviews to be like, we're kind of just enjoying being here in the company of like the best the league has ever looked. And it was like, I mean, still not a like high effort game in terms of like the actual competitive nature of the showdown on the court, but all in all, it looked like, a good fun weekend.
It was. The players, especially this weekend and throughout the season, have been on a very united front. We've kind of seen them get united even throughout before the season started, like in the Unrivaled League and stuff like that. Like before the All-Star game, every single one of the players came out with basically a "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirt, which was, I'm sure, a shock to the WNBA. But all the players agreed to wear them, which is a kind of a crazy. I've only ever seen this happen one other time, and that was when the Fab Five did it in Michigan, because everyone was complaining about the things that they were doing. Most of those people ended up being right in hindsight, because they were taking money and whatnot and a bunch of other things. But
imagine that.
Yeah, this one was a cool, different story.
Definitely a solid sign of solidarity amongst the players as a whole, as a bargaining unit in their negotiations, where they've made it pretty clear they're looking for pay increases across the board, like at all tiers, and revenue. They want a slice of that pie from someone. One of that 44, was it 42, 42, and 10?
16.
One of us can do the math.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the math guy. Yeah, they apparently earlier on they did have a meeting. I think earlier during the week when they were on sort of the break before. I think they even headed out to Indianapolis, and from what everyone was saying is they had to bring more chairs into the room. I think 40 different players throughout the league showed up to basically this meeting. That Stewie is head of the basically what would be the WNBA PA essentially, and she's sort of leading the negotiation in charge. And the president of the WNBA has seemed to be receptive and wants to give them what they sort of basically desire. I'll be interested to see if it works out like we sort of talked about last week. Somebody is taking a cut. I don't know who's.
It's got to come from somewhere.
There's an obvious cut that I would make personally as the WNBA, but we'll see what they do. I mean, the obvious cut I would make is I would cut out the NBA. They are doing great things for the sport, but I don't think they should get a piece of my pie for what's
certainly
happening.
Not. I mean, you can certainly cut out it's not going to be anything close to the 50-50 or anything that we see in the other sports, but I can imagine a settlement of like 5 or 10 percent range or something.
Like we talked about last week, right now, unless the league grows, they're getting a grand total of a whopping 0. So anything more than that, I think, is progress, and I think it's a little bit groundbreaking because those percentages are not easy to come by, and no one wants to give them up. So it's going to be as easy as the president wants to make it. It's not going to go as easy. I think everyone hopes it is.
Absolutely, and the counter to that is the reports I'm seeing recently are that despite all of this new growth and advertisement and eyes on the league, they are still running at a deficit, losing about like $40 million a year or something.
So that is true, and I've seen the everyone's like, well, why do you want a piece of this thing that's already losing? We have to remember where the sport was when the last CBA happened, and where we are today. Like, thinking about the organization of the league, they don't really have a big TV deal. The next TV deal that they're about to get is we're talking about the billions of dollars versus the hundreds of millions of dollars. And the example I gave to you earlier in the week, which just so happens to fit here, is like, if you're looking at it from just a numbers perspective, we look at just even in seconds, 1 million seconds is really only about 13 days, where 1 billion seconds is 30 some years, basically 32 years.
Yeah.
That grand scale of things is a big difference, and we'll cut into sort of this league is not making money to this is a very profitable league, especially with the few amount of teams that they're playing. There's not a whole lot of players and teams. There are more coming on, and there's a big struggle right now because there's so much WNBA talent around that you're having to cut players and waive players.
We just announced a huge wave of expansion over the next 5 years up to 2030. Yep. So we know that they intend to be growing, and it only makes sense. I saw a take about the owner for like the Fever, who is also the owner for the Pacers.
Correct. He does share those.
Yeah. And about how it seems like a slam dunk business move to invest more in that team, considering your number one player, face of the franchise or face of the league for the most part right now, is making $80,000 a year on her NBA or her W contract.
The contracts are ridiculous. They are still,
and we talk about how bad hockey is compared to everyone else. That's peanuts.
It's miserable, and which is why a lot of players were having to go overseas. They have to go play in the Unrivaled and other leagues to make revenue. Luckily enough for some of them, if they are the very few special talents, so I'm talking about the Caitlin Clarks, the Aja Wilsons, they get a multi-million-dollar deal with some sort of brand or a couple of those to make up basically like a celebrity and athlete salary that we would expect.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say from a business aspect is I cannot see the women basketball trends stopping really anytime soon. Not even here in America, but I'm just talking about worldwide. Mm-hmm. Worldwide basketball is growing just rapidly everywhere. Like, we're seeing a huge influx of French players coming into both the W and the NBA. We know about all the people in Canada that are playing. Jamal Murray, one of our hometown heroes. Shai, who's the MVP of the league, is from Canada. The other European countries, we know Jokic is out there in Serbia.
Your Serbias, your Latvias.
Lithuanias, all these European countries where if you don't have to go play soccer anymore for a lot of these countries, especially if you're a 6 foot tall, 7 foot tall giant, it doesn't really work out all the time.
And they don't play American football.
They don't play American football, and so there's really only the avenue to go down is you're going to go play volleyball, which is not. I'm surprised volleyball
it has
not
its niches
as big as it probably could be. Or you can go play basketball, where there's a very good track of revenue for a bunch of different sports. Even one of the All-Stars this weekend, Gabby Williams, who we should know and hear this name from back during the summertime last summer when we did the Olympics. She was a huge player on the French side and is making waves in the WNBA enough so that she made an appearance here in the All-Star weekend.
Was Citron French in the W? She was like
I don't know. It's a good question. I know she's from Notre Dame, but I think she is. If I had to guess, I would assume she's American.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't imagine I can't imagine a foreigner going out there to the Notre Dame college. That's a tough transition.
Yeah, that would be a little bit. No, just the name seemed French to
Sonia
me.
Citron. Yep.
Has that ring to it.
Yeah.
But all that being said around the bargaining agreement and all that, the game itself had some fun all-star wrinkles to it, including one of my favorite proposed rule changes to the game, the 4-point mark, which
I don't know. The 4-point mark is.
We broke some records with it.
We did.
We're gonna have to asterisk this year in the rule books. I only think that's fair. You can't be like
we've reached a point of talent where people can hit a 4-point, like Steph Curry, Dame Lillard in the NBA. There's a bunch of people in the NBA.
It seems like it was a gimmick shot designed for Caitlin Clark because that's like her range.
Her, Sabrina, Paige can all hit a 4-point shot. A few others were capable.
Everyone was giving it a go last night.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? You're here for some fun.
Which is how we ended up with a final of 151 to 131.
I will say, not an ideal basketball score, but still better than the NBA All-Star game where we're scoring in the 200s. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. There were some very funny attempts at defense moments and like a couple of actual like foul where like they called fouls. They had a system where they weren't even like making them do the free throws until the end of the game.
The rule was they're not shooting any free throws up until the last 2 minutes, which is really only if it mattered for the most part ish.
Yeah.
In the last 2 minutes of the game, not even of the quarter, you were going to shoot the free throw shots. Otherwise, you get awarded the points, and then the ball goes to the other team. Yeah, it's just live, fast-paced play. How did you like sort of this rendition of basketball? Because the way they set it up is almost very similar to how a hockey game set up. They were doing some level of
it was a little bit more like lacrosse style changes where they were having the central like bench area where they already stand for subbing anyway.
Yep.
As the kind of active trade in and trade out as the transition happens.
I didn't even think about. I think so. I don't think about lacrosse enough quite yet. But now that
I've been watching a lot of it,
now that you've consumed enough of it, it is basically a lacrosse sub that they were doing.
I mean, I like it for flow. Like if you're going for let's get this game done a little more quickly and with some pace, I think that's a good way of doing it. And it's I didn't have a long basketball career, only a couple of years, but I was never a fan of being on the bench for very long. I much preferred being in the game. So that's if I were a bench player, I'd enjoy that system more.
I mean, it would be, you could use it for a huge like advantage.
Yeah.
Like you're not subbing off a whole, well, it would almost be it would be a whole hockey line. You're not taking everyone off the court. That's impossible.
It's a little,
but there's a strategic advantage on both sides. Like when they're doing a hockey sub, we can go press and trap and whatnot, maybe not allow them to do so, but also if you're allowed to do hockey subs, you can switch out for the right personnel or talk about just a quick
transition becomes a lot more dangerous when you catch offensive specialists who can't swap out for their defensive specialist.
Yeah, I didn't even think about because
that's a lacrosse thing that happens a lot.
Some people in the NBA cannot play defense. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
it's not what they paid. They're not paid to do that. They are paid to be out there getting buckets.
exactly. Our MVP of the game was Nafisa, I believe.
What a shock, let me tell you.
She's been hot this year. What can we say? She broke the record.
35 is, I think, what she came away with.
I want to say 35 was Enrique's old one, and it was 36 for her tonight or last night.
It's either 35 or 37. I knew it was like an odd
It's
number.
in that mid-30s range
Yeah.
for sure. Another, just she's in the zone this year. What can you say? I think I saw a poll from The Athletic about they did an anonymous poll of the players, and Nafisa is now by a pretty good margin considered the best player in the league, with like Aja right behind.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think they are different players. Nafisa, I'm not going to take anything away from her. She's a great player. I don't think she has the same defensive capability that Aja does, just because she is, from a size perspective, she's what they would call it, what the WNBA has sort of termed a tweener. Mm-hmm. She's not big enough to play in that 4 spot that she is playing in, but she's not quick enough to be like a 3 or a 2. Mm-hmm. So she's sort of in between those positions, which Aja is, she's a clear 5. She's one of the bigger people out there, usually on the floor, so it gives you a good defense advantage. She can dribble the ball, she can shoot the ball, she can kind of do it all. That's the only reason I would pick Aja over Nafisa for that. But to each their own.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so a very fun All-Star weekend for the W. Sabrina won another 3-point contest in the skills side of things the night before. Surprise, surprise.
I'm going to give it another year or two because we know what Sabrina can shoot. Caitlin Clark didn't get to participate in this one, unfortunately.
Yep.
Paige, I'm assuming, will be there, who can also shoot the ball.
I knew about Sonia Citron because she was also participating this year.
Yeah, Sonia is a sniper. So,
any other basketball news we need to cover this week?
Just a couple of WNBA things that really matter. We had a cool little matchup very early on in the weekend last Sunday. In fact, we got to see Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers play against each other. So that's sort of just a look at the wave of the future. This one, unfortunately, did not go in the way of Paige Beckers because that Dallas team is, like we talked about, they're still up and coming and growing. I'm going to assume they're going to take the Indiana route and go heavy in this offseason and sort of surround Paige Becker because she's shown and proven that she's a pretty good commodity out there. And some veterans take offense to her because she's not going to shy away from anyone and will bark at everyone. It's just sort of the way she is. And some people like it, some people don't. But yeah, that game ended up 102-83 for Caitlin Clark before she went down. The Liberty have been on a roll sort of all week long. For the last 3 games.
Looking like they're back in their championship form.
They have been. They beat the Dream 79-72. And they won the other game that they played earlier in the week. The games that really mattered for the most part, the Chicago Sky did unfortunately lose to the Link after they were on such a big roll. The Link got their get back 91-78 on Monday. Nafisa, as we talked about, she had 29 and she shot 50% from the floor. So,
like, again, just rolling hot this week.
Yeah. She also had Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams was there at the All-Star game with her, giving her 17 and 18 right behind her. Angel Reese did end up having a double-double, but she was kind of the only one playing out there for the Sky for the most part. She did end up getting injured or sick. I can't remember which it was, and did not play in the next game, and we won't talk about that one.
Okay.
That one's going to go in the garbage. But the cool, interesting one that happened was San Francisco, the Valkyrie dropped to the Mercury 78-77. That one was a shootout. Mercury, they were basically trading blows back and forth. The Valkyrie did have the lead going into halftime, but ended up losing it in that second half, unfortunately. So sort of is what it is there. But Vegas ended up winning the next day, which means Vegas slides into that 8th spot, and Valkyrie are right now out of playoff position. With Vegas's win, Vegas did end up beating Dallas and Beckers to do so. Aja Wilson showing that she can still do it. 37-10 kind of putting a whooping on Dallas there. Unfortunately, Dallas did give a good effort for the most part. They were down, I think 2 going into half and had a rough third quarter and were fighting their little hearts out in the fourth. They ended up having 34 in the fourth in total, but not quite enough to get back at Asia and her squad.
I mean, yeah, that's a little David and Goliath-y kind of matchup there.
Yeah, I would say so. Good for Vegas. So they, like I said, like we talked about, don't know who's going to end up sliding in and out of those spots. That 7 and 8 spot are really up for anybody right now. I would expect Vegas. I can't imagine a playoff without Vegas. I assume they're going to fight back. They've had the issues of Aja being sort of in and out, but I think they've got things figured out now. And if they get things right, I think they could slide in a little bit higher, especially with the back half of the season to go here. On the NBA side, everything was very quiet. The only news that was noteworthy for the most part is one, Valanciunas is going to stay here in Denver. I think everyone was super excited about that.
Yeah, there was another one of those things that immediately after we finished recording last week, we got some more news on that topic.
Yeah, and the Dallas Mavericks ended up shooting Cooper Flag down. Basically, he got to play a couple games. They're like, all right, good enough.
Yep, he can still ball. Turn it off. Keep him safe. Wrap him in plastic wrap.
Pretty much. That is it. So interesting to see that. Usually, you see your rookies play all the way through, or a little bit
I saw
more.
a few other like first round draft picks get shut down like that same week later on.
Yeah. So can't. Now that we know the dangers out there, safer than sorry for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That is it from the basketball side. Like we already talked about, the CBA is on everyone's sort of mind right now, probably more than anything, especially after the All-Star game. So I am definitely excited to see how they do that.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem not very close in negotiations at the moment, but it's the league that suffers the most by it taking longer. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops. As you say, we will move from your bouncy round ball to the smaller, harder round ball.
Does bounce though.
It still bounces a fair amount. It goes real far when you hit it intentionally in a home run derby, and we'll talk about that and the other all-star events of baseball this week. Because that was sort of the highlight of the week. It was the actual event of the all-star game. We talked about the controversy of who made it, who didn't. But in the end, a fun time was had by almost all. Did you catch much of the home run derby this year?
Did not. I like I said, I'm sort of against the MLB All-Star Game. I don't like having not every team should get a representative. I'm against that. But from what I did, from all the reviews that I've seen through All-Star Weekend, is this All-Star Game was hugely successful, even more so than they've had a very struggling time, I think, the past couple of years.
It's been up and down with trying to keep people's attention in this modern age of better sports.
Yeah, having Big Dumper in the home run derby, which we'll talk about here, and then the actual game itself, everyone was very sort of wrapped into and had eyes on, I would say.
Yeah, it was, again, a much awaited spectacle. A lot of big matchups, still a fair bit of big names who did participate, even though you had your usual stand or sit outs. But yeah, in chronological order, All-Star Weekend really kicks off with that home run derby.
With the Celebrity All-Star Game. Softball game.
Yeah, Celebrity Softball technically happens first, and some people are into that. I like it. Depends on who's playing, honestly, for me.
The only highlight I saw from that was CC Sabathia smashing a home run.
And what a surprise! He's a pro. He's not that far removed from the game. That one doesn't count as. I want to see like Snoop hitting bombs, and
Snoop ain't got the power to hit bombs.
He doesn't.
Not
really.
anymore, especially at his ripe old age.
I know, right? There was an era though when he could do it. But yeah, it was a grand old all-star home run derby, and so yeah, they tweak the format on the derby kind of regularly. It feels like almost every year there's a little bit something different on it.
Yeah, because everyone stops tuning in. Like, this format was boring. This format. There's also a tough time. I have a tough time, and they have a tough time. Like, what is a good format to prove who's the best home run hitter?
Yeah, and in the end, what they've kind of finalized on this year that I think everyone agreed is sort of the best variation we've seen in a while is a model that just promotes more home run hitting in general. So
Steroids.
no, no, they're not going to backtrack into that era. The format in this one was there's a timer and a ball count on the first round, and it was just sort of who can hit as many home runs as you can. Of your 8 participants, we'll take the top 4, and they're our finalists essentially.
Are you more in favor of the timer, or do you prefer like the out count, like back in the old
So
days?
that's why those are the models that we have kind of eschewed in modern times, because they tend to be very boring when the batter can just take balls all the time if he doesn't like them, and he just doesn't swing so that he doesn't get outs, and you don't see any home runs.
I mean, both has pros and cons. Like the time limit, I feel like you're forcing the person to.
From a game mechanic design, the timer is better for the outcome that you want, which is let's see some home runs.
Yeah, but there's I always have the thought is like with the outs, you could have someone just swinging there all night long.
Which that had happened in the past before. Some people overstayed their welcome at the plate in the home run derby. And
we want to go home.
Yeah, that was not the case, and it's still kind of a long affair because you have to do all the rounds of the tournament in the same evening.
I'm curious as to how far we are away from just putting a timer on everything in baseball.
It's not far off. It feels like we've got a lot more than I ever thought we'd see in the game.
Anyway, back to where you were.
Yes, and so this first round is a top 4 of the 8 get through. We had a little controversy in the final 4. Big Dumper, as we've already said, did come away the winner of this one, but he only made it into that final 4 by 1 calculated inch from the StatCast data of how far one of his home runs went, because that was the tiebreaker. Both him and Brent Rooker from the Athletics had 17 home runs, but Cal Rowley's longest measured 1 inch longer than Brent Rooker's.
The math's the math.
Math's the math.
Or the math works enough such that, one, you don't have a home, Brent Rooker's, and you play for an organization the MLB does not like, and your name is not Big Dumper and selling, I think, the number 1 most jerseys in the MLB currently.
Yeah, the ones with the Nintendo logo on the shoulder.
Sure, yeah.
That's their partnership over in Seattle.
They're doing good.
It's a good one to have. They had the Switch 2 logos on for Switch launch week.
I like that. Good for Seattle. I'm proud somebody out there is doing good things.
It's one of those wild ones where it's like that the colors don't match, like, because a lot of times it's like, oh, can we get our brand colors aligned with the team colors? And this one's no. This is bright red and white on the blue and green.
Give me the Mario Night.
I'm sure you'll see it at some point. Other notes out of that first round, besides the controversy of who made it into the final 4, Jazz Chisholm Jr. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was representing from the Yankees.
We talked about him last week, in fact.
Yeah, he did not have a fun weekend overall. 3 home runs was his total in his semifinal round, far and away the least of any contestant.
Not a home run. I wouldn't consider him a home run hitter. He can hit home runs, but I don't think that makes you a home run hitter.
And there is a difference to that, which we did see, proven pretty handily here in this event. This was another time, though, where as soon as we recorded and I announced who the participants in the home run derby were going to be into a microphone, I came off the recording and then went and looked, and they were like, oh, a few people bowed out of the home run derby, so here are the replacements. So I don't remember who I said last week, but the actual participants ended up being Cal Rowley, our winner. The runner-up this year was Junior Caminero, who we also have to note we'll circle back to the kid who stole the home run from him, but they gave it to him anyway.
Well, so I just wanted to go clarify. I'm like, he's not a home run hitter. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Man has 17 home runs. He is tied for 17th in the American League right now.
Yeah.
I assume he's going to be a replacement.
He was for sure. But yeah, So Junior Caminero, O'Neal Cruz from the Pirates, Byron Buxton from the Twins, who we're going to hear about a little bit more when we cover the Twins coming out to Colorado for the weekend. Brent Rooker, as we've already mentioned, from the Athletics. James Wood, who is 6'7", I learned. That's no wonder he can stroke the home runs. He's huge.
Yeah.
He plays for the Nationals. Matt Olson from the home hosting field Atlanta Braves. And Jazz Chisholm Jr., as we mentioned, who only managed to hit 3 home runs before bowing out.
They went to the Yankees organization, says, give us a home run hitter. Give us someone who will play in the home run derby.
He also had a pretty rough time at the plate in the game itself the next day, too. So not a great weekend for him, but hopefully it doesn't throw off the rest of his second half. And then, yes, we got down to that final 4 of Rowley, Caminero, Cruz, and Buxton. And in that final showing, Cal Rowley had the highest in that round with 19, and then hit 18 in his swing off against Junior Caminero. Now, all that to lead into the actual game itself, which is generally, as most All-Star games are, not very high effort, except for the fact that the MLB All-Star game counts for home field advantage in the World Series.
Which is still crazy.
It's insane way to get them to care a little bit, and for the first time in a long while, the National League was out to a hot start and kept the lead late into the game until a 2-air 7th inning kicked off by a bad pickoff attempt throw from our very own Hunter Goodman behind the plate.
Representing properly.
Surprisingly, the National League All-Star roster only featured 2 catchers. The Los Angeles Dodgers' Will Smith and our very own Hunter Goodman, who went 0 for 1 in his only plate appearance.
Will Smith.
So, I don't basically a par for the course showing for our Rockies at the All-Star game.
Can't ever do anything to make the baseball gods happy.
The one era I think we got a little bit of love from the All-Star broadcast was when Tulo and Cargo went.
Do you know how upset you would have? Like, the Rockies we are so far away from a World Series thought. It does not matter. But if you're one of the teams that cares, and this dude throws just the most
he airmailed it into center field.
Awful throw. I think you have to Sandlot throw all your gloves at him. We're calling a timeout, and I'm beating you with the glove.
Unfortunately, I think Matt Olson, the hometown Braves player, at first made the other error of the inning, and they ended up allowing 4 runs in that 7th inning to make it a 6-4 game. And
to be fair, errors are kind of like a sickness. They do.
Yeah,
they're contagious.
Thing. Absolutely. And it's not at all because it's a bunch of dudes who don't normally play on a team together.
No.
But that all being said, we ended up in the 9th inning. The American League just kind of decided at the last minute, they're like, oh, actually, we care about this game and we do plan on winning it. So they were able to do a 9th inning rally where they strung together some really impressive at-bats.
A Cal rally?
He was there, I suppose. And they scraped together 2 runs, but they were denied the walk-off winning run in the fray there. So we ended the bottom of the 9th tied 6-6, and they're like, we're not playing any extra baseball for the All-Star game. No friggin' way are we risking any injuries for extra innings All-Star.
Coin flip.
So we got the very first in MLB history swing off, and I don't know, did you see this?
I did not.
Oh, this is great. They stole shootouts from hockey, and what it is each team selects 3 swingers, and each swinger gets...
Pause.
Nope. That's what we're calling them. 3 batters, I guess, if you prefer.
Yeah, I think that's a better, yeah.
It's 3 batters per team, NL, AL, and each batter gets 3 swings specifically. So they can take a pitch if they want, but only 3 swings in an attempt to hit as many home runs as possible after all, we kind of go back and forth. And the hero for the National League was Kyle Schwarber, who hit 3 Schwar bombs, 3 for 3, the only contestant to go 3 for 3.
I don't I want it to be like the hockey where you get the, or in soccer, you get the one onto the next, get the one onto the next.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't want to pick the one dude. This is my champion. Go forth and do battle.
so Schwarber was only the second round contest, but he did go the 3-for-3, which made it 5-3 at that point in the home run total, maximum being 9. And then the last batter for the American League whiffed and went 0-for-3. So they had a chance. They were in it till the very end there. But based on a swing off, we have a National League home field advantage for the World Series this year, and a 7-6 rare National League victory.
All right, time to get the Rockies going.
They had a couple more days off and then kicked into gear on Friday night.
Surely, if we went out the season,
we would still probably not make the playoffs. And yeah, it's bad. But all that to say that we got a little bit of health out of the All-Star break. Ezekiel Tovar is back off the injured list. And that results in our Rockies coming out of the break, taking the series from the Minnesota Twins with 2 wins already out of 3. The Twins are currently winning in our third game of the series, 5-1 in the middle of the 6th inning. But we'll keep our eyes on that through the broadcast here. But the Rockies already took the first 2. A 6-4 win on Friday night behind 6 innings of 1-run ball from Kyle Freeland. And then Antonio Senzatella gave us 7 innings, did give up 3 runs, but the good guys put up 10 runs behind him. That was a 10-6 final on Saturday.
I can't fault the Rockies. I will say, since we've had our ups and downs and some more downs and a little up and back down again, we have been batting overall better. There are just a few guys who can really ruin the game, and they are all mostly in our bullpen, unfortunately. Like, really, really just make things bad for us.
Yeah, there's a few spots on the roster that scream this is going to lose us games. But we actually, on Friday, rarely on the occasion, we're able to take advantage of one of the other team's pitchers having a rough time of things. And we were able to put up, I think it was 5 runs right off the get-go. So that was a solid just way to take advantage of another team having an off night, which the out-of-the-gate Rockies could not do.
There are only a few teams that I would say I feel confident about being 5 runs down and being like, this is fine. We'll catch up. And unfortunately,
especially at Coors Field, like a ballpark notorious for giving up runs.
Ballpark notorious for giving up runs. Team notorious for giving up runs. Twins aren't one of them, unfortunately.
No, they are struggling to reach 500. They're a lot closer than we are. They're 47-51. To your point, let's do the quick math. Is 82 161 and half that is 180, or is 161 and half is it 162?
I thought it was 162 and you get 81 home and away.
Yeah, there we go. So if second half of the season, if a half is 81, that would put us at 105-74. Which the math also doesn't work out on that.
No, because the All-Star game is not exactly in the halfway mark. You still have a few.
Yeah, we've played already now. If we're 24-74, almost an even 100 games. So there's 62 left. So 62, that would put us at 86-74. A little over 500.
That's not a bad record. I don't know what a good, like... Are there teams that reach 100 wins? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. The Dodgers are at 58-41. Cubs are at 59-40. Phillies are 56-43.
Like, it seems crazy to me that any team would get 100 wins with just where the records are. Like, it feels like you win.
There's still a lot of games to be played, but yeah, I mean, that's if you think of it's 62 games left, if the Dodgers win 2 out of 3 of those, that's 40 wins.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's
that puts them,
100.
are they in the 60s already?
They're at 58.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
It's definitely doable. It's not an every year, like maybe 2 or 3 might.
I'm trying to think of what a good record in the playoffs would be, a respectable record, not one where they spit on you like they probably would us.
I mean, in general, having to make it in the wild card anyway is kind of not been great for us historically. So, and we've never won the division, and those are the 2 ways to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah. One day we'll see what's behind those curtains again, but we are not there yet.
Let's see, we are currently 33 and a half games out of first place in our division.
Yeah, if we win out, I don't even know if we can catch it. Like,
we'd be in a wild card race at best.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because that's 86, we said, or whatever, is like 30 wins for every other team.
Yeah, that's crazy. The hole we dug is just
insurmountable.
Pretty much.
Mathematically.
We literally dug a hole and put cement over it.
Yeah. Not even worth checking, but it is hilarious for me to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, good math works.
Absolutely. That is all of the baseball news this week, though. Why don't we hear about what happened in that Club World Cup?
The Club World Cup. The one where do not let me pick a team. And this one, surprisingly, for me, mostly, Chelsea ends up winning our Club World Cup final with a score of 3-0. Chelsea scores basically 3 consecutive goals before heading into halftime, one at the 30-minute, 22-minute mark, 30-minute mark, and 43-minute mark, respectively.
Bing, bang, boom, baby.
And that was sort of all she wrote. PSG did not have anything to answer. Chelsea goes home, the victors of the 2025 Club World Cup, with the fancy trophy that they did not get to take home, unfortunately. Very beautiful, very fun. Not theirs, though.
That trophy resides in the White House, as it were.
For what purpose?
Because the man in the office there has a notorious favorite color, and the head of FIFA apparently would like to be friends with him. So that's why the actual gold-plated trophy now resides in the Oval Office. Has been in several photo shoots of Trump doing other political activities in his at his work desk there in the background, and he says that's staying with him. So yeah, Chelsea taking home a replica trophy back home to London.
This one is plastic. Yeah, good for Chelsea though. I'm glad they got a win. Fun to see if they can continue on. I know EuroLeagues are going to be starting up here very soon. I think I have a month break before I see any actual relevant football action. There's potentially some national stuff happening, I would assume, here in the next month, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's go Blues.
Yeah, that does put a wrap to our Club World Cup. It was an interesting time, I think, through and through. Did not go at all how anyone, I think, imagined. The U.S. was an interesting spot to hold this sort of new format of it to try to get some more eyes and build the sport here. But we'll see what they do next time.
I am sure it would have been a much bigger affair anywhere in Europe.
I understand. Like I said, I understand what they are thinking and trying to do, but also
they've got a goal in mind. It just
the timing for things just has to be right here to kick off, and the WNBA is just like evident of that. Like if without the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese stuff happening and all these other stars popping up, who knows what it would be like.
It's surprisingly competitive for people's sports attention in the summer.
There needs to be some amount of drama for the Americans to care. The soccer does not provide that for them, unfortunately. They do not like the ties. There's people over there dying on the field, what they think every minute of the game.
Yeah, a lot of unfamiliar, foreign-sounding names.
Yeah.
Not a recipe for American success, unless you can make a fun nickname out of it.
The Blues. What? That's also I would love.
Well, I meant players in particular.
I would love to see the Americans try to do the European chants. I'm not quite sure how all the foreigners do
coordination. Yeah,
but every stadium has a chant ready to go, and most of them are just like impromptu, and the whole stadium can figure it out.
There's the impromptu ones, and then there's like the classics that everyone's supposed to have in their library. Be like, oh yeah, it's time to do that one. But yeah, that is a fun part of the footballing culture that Americans could never.
Nope, not even a little bit.
The best we can do is the wave, and half the people in the arena hate that the wave is happening.
Yeah, not a lot of fans of the wave, and the wave also there's some struggles with the syncing of the bodies of movement.
You can get probably maybe 2 good circles in a very coordinated wave before it fizzles out anyway.
Gets a little choppy pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's very hard to convince Americans to stand up and raise their arms out of their seats. In the middle of gameplay? You're kidding me.
Trying to focus over here.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well then, I don't know if you saw the thing about the executive from the NFL Players Association.
I did not.
Yeah, he had to resign, and then it immediately came out after he resigned. He had been using the union credit card at a couple of strip clubs.
Oops.
And I saw a lot of good memes about that of look at my union. I'm getting an 18-game regular season.
Yeah, I'm sure the players won't have any hard feelings seeing him go. And as we've only seen the games ever increase, and nothing seems to be decreasing for them. And they still don't have guaranteed contracts like quite literally every other sport and worker in the world. That
is a sticking point for that union in particular, where it's like you got to make some progress up here. You're falling behind basically everyone else. But yeah, that was a funny little bit of football news. In other minor notes of major sports news, the only thing I could really find to report out of hockey this week was we did get the schedule release. We know when the regular season is going to start back up. We're going to be hosting. No, we're not hosting. We're going out to Los Angeles to play the Kings October 7th.
To kick off the season?
To kick off our 2025-26 regular season. Playing against the Kings, a little California road trip before we come back home, it looks like. The only big notes in the forecast for our regular season schedule: there's going to be 3 weeks off in February for those Winter Olympics. The 2026 games will be kicking off at the end of February, or at the end of January, early February, it looks like. And then it will be a 6-week sprint to the end of the regular season for hockey. Almost.
That's going to be miserable.
You'll be lucky to have 2 days off in a week.
So, oh my gosh,
it's going to be brutal.
Someone put my Landeskog in bubble wrap.
We'll see who's still on their old man feet at that point in the season. But that's our real bit of news out of the hockey world. And to follow that up, though, I have a double dose of PLL news.
Woo! Love some PLL.
Because we did not get to cover action from last week, I can now report on week 6 of action, which was throwback week. But I haven't been around long enough to know the difference.
Yeah, the PLL, like, it feels like with some of these newer leagues, I think the WNBA, the PLL, the PWHL, their design work is getting, like, I like most of the designs for the most part. They're very good.
I would say the PLL in particular, like, I liked what the PWHL did for a league-wide thing, but we were kind of lucky to get the home and aways for everyone, and there were no, like, alternate jerseys or anything. PLL is cranking out, like, a theme week almost every other week here.
Yeah, the lacrosse, that's just kind of like a lacrosse culture thing for the most part. It's
also a little bit of an easier production, I imagine, as far as just format. A hockey sweater is a little bit more intensive.
Yeah, I think that's true there.
But anyway, so throwback week for week 6, and that was our Denver Outlaws against the Maryland Whipsnakes. And this one was a 13-6 win for the Outlaws. A 5-goal lead was basically a cushion they never had to look back from. Poured it on early and often. The for Tuaraton winner team is kind of clicking on all cylinders nowadays, and that's kind of all anyone can talk about with the Outlaws. It was not quite so easy for them in week 7, though, which was Indigenous Heritage Week in the PLL.
All those jerseys were very, very cool. My favorite was the Denver Outlaws because I do like me a good buffalo.
See, I was not as big a fan of the buffalo design for the Outlaws, but yes, all 8 teams got themselves a unique Indigenous artwork inspired stylized logo and colorway. There were some good ones. There were some weaker ones. Zach and I disagree on which those were.
Yeah.
But you can check them out for yourself, dear listener, and tell us what your favorite of Indigenous Heritage Week was. I'm a pretty big fan of the Boston Cannons ones. The Cannons were good. I think we both agreed Water Dogs was pretty solid.
I like the Water Dogs. I like most of the animal ones. The ones that were just like fire and stuff. They just don't. I like animals.
Yeah, that checks out.
I'm an animal guy, so
fair enough. But that week 7 matchup was our Outlaws versus those Boston Cannons, and in a similar fashion, the Outlaws got out to a quick 4-0 lead, maintained that into a 6-2 lead, and then the Cannons kind of made some adjustments. They play a gritty style of lacrosse out there in Boston, if you'd believe it. And we're a little bit more concerned with maybe overplaying the body in the first portion of the game there. They settled down a little bit, still kind of kept things gritty around the crease area, around the goal, but basically stayed with the Outlaws through the rest of the game. This ended up being the highest scoring affair of the season so far. The final was 18-17. Good guys, the Outlaws on a 5-game winning streak ever since putting in rookie Ryan McNaney in goal.
The Outlaws, like I said, the culture of what used to be the Outlaws, and I know we had the sort of hiatus and now they're back again, has always been fairly good. I mean, the Colorado lacrosse seems to be up there amongst the echelon. I would always put sort of the places back east as like the top of the top, Boston being
the classic,
probably the top.
Well, as I learned from consuming some of the Indigenous Heritage content from the PLL, which they put a great deal of effort into promoting stories from different Indigenous leaders and whatnot who are still currently preserving that part of their history and culture, including a very interesting video on their YouTube about the different region, because this was the game of lacrosse is a colonizer invention, obviously. Of those original stick and ball games that the indigenous tribes played, and each tribe obviously would have their own sort of variation or like unique rules to it. So there's like some that use two sticks that are a little smaller and have much smaller nets on the end, and then there's a whole different tradition of like the people who make the sticks and all that and taking care of it. So very interesting stuff. But how that all originated from the sort of middle of Canada and north of America, like geographically, and sort of just spread southward through the U.S. Into like the East Coast area. So historically, like, yeah, it's a little bit more grounded out there, but I think, yeah, it has taken off quite well out here in Western Territory.
Yeah. Also, apparently, if we're talking about the Indigenous, while we're on the Indigenous, they're the reason we have the closest to ball rule. It comes from the original sport that lacrosse is made off of, which is why we see people diving like madmen towards the ball to see who can get the closest before it goes out.
Yes. Very, very interesting to learn, the history of the game and its use as more of like a cultural ceremony versus, say, a competitive like league situation that we see it in now. But very good stuff, and glad to see that the league is keeping that cultural aspect of the game in the forefront and celebrating that. And that is the report out of the PLL this week. The Outlaws are the number one team in the league at 5-2.
And we only have what?
This is week 7. I think there's 3 more regular season weeks left, and then it's playoff time.
Do they? I just no buys, right? Because there's so not as many teams.
No, I think it's probably a similar. I'm not sure if it's going to be. Yeah, because it's only 8. I think it's only going to be the 4 that make it, and then no buys. You're just going to have to duke it out for the finals.
Excited. I would be. Is this our first inaugural season of this PLL coming in here?
This is the second. Yeah, they picked up. I think technically started after like in 2021, but didn't get like a full season until 22.
Do we know who the past sort of reigning champion is?
Let's take a look here real quick. The 2024 PLL championship went to the Utah Archers.
Boo Utah.
Yeah, they have been in a little bit of a. I think they got a win this week, but kind of 500-ish right now. So again, the Outlaws sitting pretty in the West at least currently. New York is still looking very strong out on the eastern side of the bracket, so we'll have to take out. I don't remember if we already played New York in week 1 or if they're still on the docket. So we will see. We are still also waiting in these last 3 weeks of the regular season. One of those weeks will be here in Denver, so we'll have that to look forward to.
That's actually, where are they going to be playing at here? Do you know?
I believe at DU, but let me double check that real quick. At Peter Barton Stadium. Where is Peter Barton Stadium?
Who is Peter Barton? What is Peter Barton?
I want to say that's going to be the DU.
Why is Peter Barton?
Peter Barton Lacrosse Stadium.
Yeah, it's DU.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's a good backdrop, though, with the little campus tower right in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. DU probably has the best field.
Currently.
Yeah. So, that's where they will be for the, I believe, August 1st weekend.
It's exciting.
It should be a good show. Like we said, they are in a good spot here coming into the end of the season, and it's only getting tighter down the line here.
Very, very exciting.
That is, I think, all the sports notes for this week. Unless I missed something and got something else on the list.
Do not, in fact. That is all I had on the docket as well.
Then I think we are at our closing quiz time.
The closing quiz. Everyone's favorite time.
Everyone's favorite.
This week, I was deeply inspired. Last weekend, was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. I went to go see Superman. It might have even been this weekend. Everything's just feeling like it's sort of forming together right now.
I think that was last weekend it released.
Yeah, last weekend I went to go see Superman. So I was like, who are our Supermen in sports? And usually we call them Iron Men, but Superman is only really weak to kryptonite, which is supposed to be a real rare mineral, space mineral.
Okay.
So we are all going to be talking about here streaks in games and things like that. So this is what the sort of theme of the quiz is this week.
Interesting.
So we'll start somewhere. None of these questions are going to be relatively easy, I would say.
Boy.
So there was the easy one, but I took it out because
too easy.
This is too easy.
Gotcha.
So we'll start there to begin with.
All right, this is going to be the one I ace. We'll see.
Sounds good. All right. Of course, the easiest one is who holds the MLB record for longest streak of games played.
Iron Man streak?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah, that's the easy one. That's the one I took away because that's ridiculous.
Unbreakable.
Absolutely. The question is who did Cal Ripken pass to become the leader?
That is a very good question.
And I have a multiple choice here.
Okay, hit me with it.
Is it going to be Pete Rose?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be Lou Gehrig?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Garvey?
Mm-hmm.
Or the myth, the man, the legend himself, the Bambino, Babe Ruth?
Not Ruth. What was the second one?
Lou Gehrig.
between Lou Gehrig and my instincts want to say Lou Gehrig.
Your instincts are correct. He did indeed pass Lou Gehrig. He also did indeed have to pass Pete Rose on the list, but he is a little bit further down than Gehrig, who is right behind him on the standings boards currently. From what I've seen, there are very few active players on that list, and it's going to be a record that's going to be hard to touch.
Basically unbreakable unless the culture of the game changes significantly again, the way it has since that era, because guys just don't play 162 games in a row anymore. You give them rest days, you give them maintenance days, you don't let them compound injuries just for a streak.
Nope, that is not how that is probably ever going to go, and I think that is going to be one that he will hold for till baseball becomes something else.
Yep, that's going to be an all-timer.
We'll move on to the sport you know probably the best here.
Fantastic.
Who holds the NHL streak for most games played in a row?
Ooh.
Do you know this one off the top of your head, or I can give you the multiple choice?
I've got some candidates, so let's hear the multiple choice and see if any of them pop on the list.
Multiple choice. You should know all these names. Number 1 on the list is going to be Brent Burns, the Avalanche's very own. He, in fact, carries apparently an espresso machine on him at all times, like a madman.
Sure. Have you seen the beard?
Yes. Pat Marleau. Everyone loves Pat Marleau. Phil Kessel, or Colorado Avalanche's very own retired Andrew Cogliano. Which one of these players holds the record for most games played in a row?
All time?
All time.
All time. Cogliano was on a wicked good streak until they broke his neck in the playoffs, I think. That was like 1,400 games, I want to say. But I don't think that's the all-timer. Brent Burns. Run me down the list one more time, please.
Brent Burns, Pat Marleau, Phil Kessel, or Andrew Cogliano?
Pat Marleau.
Pat Marleau is incorrect. It is Phil Kessel, who is a free agent right now. He currently holds the longest game and continues to add to the record as he continues to play.
Now that's wild, because I would have sworn Phil Kessel didn't play last year.
He did indeed play, from at least the records that I saw.
Interesting. Okay. Now that checks out. Phil Kessel was an old man in the league 10 years ago, so that definitely checks out.
There's always someone in the league who you come in and they're old and they stay old all the way through.
For some people, that was LeBron James.
That is crazy.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the NFL. Out of these, it's tough to tell because it's hard to. The NFL plays so few games. It's like, bleh. Out of these positions, which one holds the longest streak for games played?
Okay.
Is it going to be the kicker,
the
center, defensive back, or our quarterback?
Just games played. I'm going to give this one to a center.
Ooh, it is not actually. The quarterback holds the streak for the longest out of these positions.
Okay.
I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me which possession is the true holder for the longest streak of games played. It is not on one of these of the list. It's actually a pretty obvious one.
Interesting. And we specified center. But maybe obviously I'm not thinking of one that's standing out. I'm going to say the left guard.
It's the punter.
The punter.
The punter, of course.
Special teams.
Special teams. They unfortunately do count. Some people don't like it. Others also don't like it.
Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
I'll give you another bonus point if you can tell me which quarterback holds the record for longest streak of games played in a row.
Brett Favre.
You are correct.
Yeah.
You get an extra bonus point for that one. You can have your point back.
Nice.
Good for you. You are 2 for 4 currently with a bonus point added on. I spelled your name correctly. Now the tough one is, who is the current holder of games played in the NBA for a streak? Current games played in a row.
Consecutive
games in a row.
Is there a multiple choice?
There is a multiple choice, and you should have heard this name if you've watched and consumed any of the playoff basketball, in fact.
Fantastic.
So that is a little bit of a hint. The
it is a known quantity name. We're
known
not
quantity
going to be a
name.
deep
It
pick
gets talked
here.
about so often ad
Okay.
nauseum a little bit.
Okay, let's hear them.
Is it Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges, Cam Johnson, or the king himself, LeBron James?
Well, I don't think it's LeBron consecutive. He's had too many little injury streaks recently. What were my Bridges options?
Mikal and Miles.
Or is that a tricksy trap to get me thinking about the Bridges?
I will say I do have a wrinkle in this quiz, but it is not in the quiz itself.
Okay, fantastic. And also ominous. Is it Cam Johnson?
It is not Cam Johnson.
Damn.
It is our New York Knicks, Mikal Bridges, who, if you've watched any Peters, they say it consecutively because they were worried that their coach Tom Thibodeau would break him, but did not. And now he is out as the coach. He is our longest current consecutive games played in a row player right now.
Okay, what's that streak at?
I do believe he is at 800, if I remember correctly.
Damn, that's 10 years.
Let me see here. 556 games played. He's the longest by far compared to anyone.
Yeah, that's still quite. Yeah,
I think it's like
7 years.
6-7 years in a row without missing a game, and he does not. He does a thing, especially towards the end of the season, either whether it matters or not. He'll check in for the last couple games, and he'll get in for a second foul or throw it out of bounds or something, and then get off the court because they don't want to ruin it for him.
Sure.
Which I think is always cool.
I guess so. It's at this point definitely like a cool thing to keep going. But like Cal Ripken played all those games.
Yeah, there's no. He could have subbed him out if need be. Also, I don't know. He was he an Oriole?
He was a lifelong Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah, and I don't think he had a whole lot of success in his.
They made the postseason 2 or 3 times. Yeah,
especially in the thousands and thousands and thousands of games he played.
Unfortunately, for as important shortstop is as a position, it cannot win you games by itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other?
Well, let me tell you about this. So,
okay, we've got is this the wrinkle?
This is the wrinkle, and it's a little bit of a game changer.
Oh boy.
So I'm gonna hand you this over. Here's the.
Oh boy.
Here's a wheel.
Okay.
Go ahead and we're gonna spin this thing 5 times and add up the numbers. You have some different numbers. The options range from 0, 1, 5, 10, and 15, and we'll discuss a little bit about what we're gonna do with that afterwards.
Okay, 3 spins.
5 spins.
5 spins. Spin number 1 is a 10.
Okay.
Spin number 2 is a 1.
We're up to 11.
Spin number 3, 0.
We're up to 11.
Spin number 4. Get past 0. It didn't get past 0. It's another 0.
It's 11.
And spin number 5. And that's a third 0.
Third 0.
So that's 11 total.
11 total. So we are going to play a fun game. And in fact, we are going to leave this quiz with some homework. In fact, you are going to take this number. You have $11 million.
Oh boy.
You have to ice a hockey lineup with that amount of money.
Hey, that's
the best hockey lineup you can.
Okay, with less than one Nathan McKinnon's worth of
less
contract.
Than one Nathan McKinnon's worth. The roll gods were not in your favor, unfortunately.
That is,
I am sorry.
The 3 zeros were a little rough in retrospect then, yeah. Okay, 11 mil salary cap. Homework noted. It'll be interesting to see if I can find a team of players that you've heard of.
It doesn't have to be players. In fact, this will be a good learning opportunity for not only me and potentially you, but also for our audience. We're gonna see some very obscure names, and you can dive deeper. I decided to choose the sport that you have the most familiarity with, and I think you'd probably be the most comfortable in doing so.
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna put my GM hat on, and
in fact, I will be so benevolent, and I'll even give you one more spin here. And because I forgot, the goalie is a position here, and we'll add that to your 11.
Oh, I get to feel the goalie too. Fantastic. It's a 10.
So you have $21 million.
Oh, huge upgrade. You might actually know some of these guys now.
$21 million to field 6 positions on an ice.
One lineup of hockey players.
One lineup of hockey players.
So 3 forwards, 2D, 1 goal. I can do that. I can do that with 21 million, no problem.
We'll see what you come back with next time. A fun little game changer I decided to throw into our quiz.
Fantastic. I love the precedent of homework as an option now. Very good. Well then, I come out of our closing quiz at below 500 again.
You come out of our closing quiz at 500 with
bonus points included.
With bonus points included and homework which can be turned in for credit. So you can come out
extra credit. Nice.
Yes, for credit on the
My
quiz.
favorite way to buff a grade.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to turn it into an art assignment, and as a benevolent teacher, you're just going to be like, yep, that counts.
You can do whatever you'd like. If you want to make a beautiful graphic for this that we can throw up on 321pods.com, you can do that. Whatever you feel, however you're feeling.
I might just do that, but we'll see next week.
We will see next week. I do believe that is all the sporting news we have for you. And next week, we look forward to hearing who our I will say, our inaugural 321 hockey team is that we've been blessed with from the spins of the wheel from our own hockey expert, Nick, here. Thank you guys for joining us. Of course, I have been your host, Zach. Along with me, of course, has been our good student of the game, Nick. If you have not checked us out on Spotify, please do so. It's going to be This Week in Sports. If you are listening and do not know that, you're welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the pod.
Please do give us a follow, give us a rating, 5 stars. That's all I'll say there, 5 stars. Please do go ahead and add comments if you'd like, if you want us to cover anything. Like I said, if you haven't checked out our website yet, 321pods.com, PODS. We have all of our pods available there. And thank you guys for joining us on this adventure of our all-star version of This Week in Sports. We will see you guys next time.
All that glitters is gold.